Alrighty, and we are live. We made it a little bit of technical difficulty behind the scenes, but we are all three here. Welcome, everyone, to the Jane Austen Literacy Foundation community. We're on YouTube tonight. We're on Facebook page. Really excited to have everybody joining us. As always, if you join into the conversation, feel free to let us know where you're at in the world. It's always fun to see where people are joining the conversation from. We are kind of running all down the East Coast tonight of the US, which is a lot of fun because we're actually all in the same time zone, which barely ever happens when we're working with all the different volunteers throughout the Literacy Foundation. So I'm excited that all three of us are here. And it was really fun when I was creating the graphic to say we have Marigold, Melissa, and Mindy. Like, I feel like we were meant to be together tonight. With the three of us. So for those of you that don't know me, hi, my name is Melissa McCarowitz. I am the community manager for the Jane Austen Literacy Foundation. So if you join in with us over in the Patreon community, you will see me there. I didn't tell you guys to introduce yourself, but I'm going to spring it on you. So Mindy, you joined me last time before the holidays. Why don't you go ahead and reintroduce yourself to everyone?
Okay, thanks for having me back, Melissa. It's so nice to be here with everybody. My name is Mindy Kilgrove Harris, and I love being a part of the Jane Austen community because I get to meet like-minded people who love reading and talking about everything Jane Austen related.
Absolutely. Marigold, welcome. This is your first time joining us, and we're super happy to have you here. So give us a little bit about you.
Thank you. I'm Marigold Webb, and I come from right outside of Boston, and I'm an English major who actually does graphic design. And so this is a great way of using my English and finding other people who love books and reading, and of course, Jane Austen.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to have some really fun conversation because I know all three of us have some similarities in what we like to read and some differences as well. And also, you two keep me very well informed with the movie side of what's going on in the Austen world. I am always falling behind in that, but you both keep me up to date. And Mindy, you're great at knowing the different events that are going on in the world too, and keeping us abreast of all that. So really excited for us to jump into a little bit of let's just talk about how do we enjoy our Jane Austen. We were in a little group chat and kind of came across this topic because we were sharing some books that we got for Christmas and little Austen-y things that we got because, of course, most of the people in our lives know how much we enjoy some more Jane Austen. It's an easy gift, I feel like, to get an Austen fan. So Marigold, do you have your books to share with us what you got for the holidays at all? A little stack?
I didn't, but I might. One thing I'm really excited for was a Jane Austen class. I know this. You think you've taken enough of you go to school, but it's one of those great. Was it the education sites that have this in-depth video set for her, and I'm very excited to start it.
The one from, is it Great Courses? That
yes.
one? Yes, that one's fantastic. I did it years ago, and you are going to have so much fun and learn a lot, which I think most of us get, that we enjoy learning even more. It's exciting to learn more about Jane Austen. So Mindy, did you end up with any Austen gifts this year?
And the biggest one is that I get to go to the Jane Austen Fest in February. We in my family, we do experiences. That's how we gift to each other at Christmas. And so I've got a whole Saturday planned in Mount Dora, Florida, where I'm going to go to some different kind of workshops. I usually really enjoy the lectures, but this time around, I signed up for some of the workshops. So in February, if you see me wearing a bonnet, there's a good chance I made it. I have zero sewing skills, so this is going to be an adventure for me, but I am really excited to not only get to go do that, but to talk about the experience once I get back.
That will be a lot of fun. I was going to ask you, will you be dressing up while you're there in full Regency attire, or is this a dabbling?
That's a good question. A lot of the other attendees do dress up in their full Regency attire, and some of them have just exquisitely made costumes. But I usually stick to just regular plain clothes. Sometimes I wear a Jane Austen themed t-shirt or sweatshirt, depending on what the weather is that weekend.
Yeah. Now you're making me feel like I'm normally always in one, and tonight I'm not because it's so cold. I'm just trying to layer on whatever will keep me warm here.
I feel the same. Wear a scarf.
Yes, it is definitely scarf or fleece weather or whatever other warm things. And then Mindy will tell us, oh, I'm going to the beach on Saturday to go read Jane Austen while I'm at the beach, and we'll all be jealous. I had one main Jane Austen gift this year, and this one was really special to me because it's something that I'm always eyeing up. My son and I love to go to the bookstore together, and I kind of always like slow down when I go past this section. And my husband said he was talking to him about what did he want to get me for Christmas this year, and he was like, he knew immediately what he wanted to get for you because he has his own job now and was going to spend his own money. And it was my first of the Penguin cloth-bound series, which I have been eyeing up this series for forever. And he did let me know, Marigold, that they also have all the Poe books there. They have Dickens. They have the whole collection, which I just think this is such a pretty collection of books. I really love it. I think it's unique in the feel that it has. And if you're kind of maybe looking where to start as an Austen collector, I feel like this is like one of the classics. If you're not going to get a Penguin edition, if you can't spend the big bucks, then I think this is a great way to go. So I think I will cherish this forever, knowing that my son got it for me. And I really think that's one of the special things about getting gifts as someone that enjoys Jane Austen is they're normally given with such heart behind them because people know you and they know that you enjoy Jane Austen and they thought of you when they saw it, and that always makes it extra special. All right, so we all got our Austen gifts out of the way. We're back from the holidays. Let's talk about how do you enjoy your Jane Austen? So I'm curious to see, are you guys more into watching your Austen throughout the week, maybe as background while you're working? Do you read Jane Austen audiobooks, ebooks? Let's discuss what form does your Jane Austen come in?
I was gonna say I know
Go
one
ahead.
first, but I have like a variety. I love the movies. Of course, the 1995 is my all-time favorite, even though it's 6 hours long. I think I've mentioned it before. You get Colin Firth, but you also get like it's more accurate to the book, and I like that aspect of it. My other favorite thing is I just suggested it for our book club that I'm in. That's not. It's just for great books, and like to dissect my
The
my
tab.
so for this, since we're really going in depth in my great discussions book, I've been highlighting and tabs, and but yeah, I like both. I like reading it. I also just got a Kindle, so I've been reading it on there too, and then highlighting and then like putting it in the book. My tabs there too.
Yeah. I realized when I was kind of making notes before we got on, I've never read an Austen book on any e-reader, any type of e-reader before. Mindy, have you? Is it just me? Do I need to jump on the bandwagon?
I want to say I'm relatively new to the ebook world, so I have not either. I've done audiobooks, hardback, paperback, but I don't think I've done it on an ebook either.
Are you a note taker while you're reading your Jane Austen? Are you just immersed in the story and flying through it?
Well, I think I showed this on here last time, but I can't remember. This is my tome of.
Love it.
This is my favorite way to read Austen's works. The last time I went through, I feel like it was Northanger Abbey. I actually listened to the audiobook, but I love reading it out of this hardback copy so much that I sat with the audiobook playing and read it in here at the same time. So I would say my preference is for the hardcover where it's got everything in here. I think that's how I like it best.
I love it.
Great. I love the reading it and listening to it at the same time because it gives you like a whole new, like using more of your senses.
Mm-hmm.
It's an immersive experience for readers to do both. Yes. And how lucky are we that we live in an age where we get to listen to a book and read a book at the same time?
Absolutely.
I think it's so interesting, to be able to hold it, and then depending on what version of the story you're getting through the audiobook, it almost feels like you're getting a completely different interpretation,
Mm,
Um,
absolutely.
Melissa, what do you like? How do you read your Austen?
So I'm definitely a like watch while I'm working sort of Austen person. So Love and Friendship. Did you watch that yet, Mindy? That's my go-to.
Okay, so as soon as you recommended it, I made sure to pull it up, and I actually convinced my husband to watch it with me because he loves Kate Beckinsale. So I sold it to him that way.
Yeah.
But while I was watching it, I realized that I really need to reread Lady Susan and then go back and watch it again. So I could have a proper appreciation, because I feel like it was extremely witty and just chock full of jokes, but I also felt like I was missing some of them. So I will let you know after I've rewatched it.
I will say that that one takes a few times of watching to like really appreciate it, because the first time, I should have warned you about this, the first time you're just kind of like, what is going on? Because I think we don't realize as Austen fans for years how well we know the stories and don't really have to think about it, which I do. To someone that's reading like Persuasion for the first time, oh my goodness, what an amazing experience. And sometimes we just feel like, oh, we know the story and we're used to watching all the movies and everything. So that is one of the ones that like the most current one to watch and not really know what's going on or what to expect with it. So I'm glad that you did give it a try, and now I'm curious to hear, after maybe a few more rewatches, if you feel up to it, how well you like it.
Oh, for sure. I have Lady Susan in here. So that is on my to reread list. And it's a goal. It's part of my goals to read Lady Susan and then rewatch Love and Friendship so I can get everything. Marigold,
Yeah.
have you watched Love and Friendship?
I did a while ago, but now that you guys are talking about it again, I'm going to have to watch it again. But I remember it being so witty that you do need to like watch a few times to get things. That's why I love rewatching, just because I swear you don't get the full enjoyment of like the wording or the comic relief when you're watching it the first time. Same with the book.
Absolutely.
It's
Yes.
just so witty.
Oh my goodness, you could read the book so many times and still not catch everything. And I feel like the scene in Love and Friendship with the peas is like so much funnier than boiled potatoes of Mr. Collins, but like not as many people know about it, so I can't reference it. That's why I'm here to tell everyone to go watch it, so I can make reference to that scene more often. But yeah, so for me it's the movies. They're like obviously comfort on in the background. I love Sense and Sensibility with Emma Thompson. Every time at that end when she like cries when she realizes that he's not married, gets me every single time. So I do love that one as well. And then Persuasion, to me, there's no bad version of Persuasion. I will watch every single one because I think they all kind of did different takes on it. And so some are more cinematic, some are highlight different parts of the story in a different way. So I kind of love all of the Persuasions. For me are always a rewatch. I see, Mindy, you were making that face. I'm assuming for the Netflix version of it, which I am
I
in
don't
the minority on that one, because I do still find it as a very irreverent but enjoyable take. And I know my friends will fight me on that one. No one else does, but
Well,
it's part of
while
why
you were
we love
talking,
all of Austen.
I wondered if that version of Sense and Sensibility is your favorite. There's another version, and I cannot remember when it came out, but Charity Wakefield is in it, and I think it's fantastic too. Have you seen that version?
I don't think so. No, I'll have to check that out.
I'm sure it's on Marigold's list. I have to double check, but
I all of them on there, but it's funny. There's like new things that pop up that are like could be close to or influenced, and I was like, I didn't know if I should put those on the list too. So maybe I'll start another list of influenced.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. That would be really fun to see. And just a reminder to anybody that's popping in and joining us, feel free to leave your favorite way to enjoy Jane Austen, whether it's the movies, the books, the audiobooks, the ebooks, anything. And let us know where you're joining us from, because it is really fun to see that as well. And even if you're watching after the fact, we still love to come back and check out the comments as we're going. So, all right. I love that we all kind of had different takes on how we enjoy Austen and what we like to watch from Jane Austen. Let's get back into the books and chat a little bit about what we have going on for the community book club last month and this month. So I wanted to share here. Let me see if I can be so techie that I can get both of these on. So just to let you guys know, we do have a community space over on Patreon. You can search Jane Austen Literacy Foundation and it should show right up for you there. Come and join us. We have a lot of amazing things going on. Every month you do get a narrated Jane Austen letter, which is really fun and unique to the community. And it's a interesting way to kind of have Jane Austen come alive and see what she was writing and sending to a lot of them to Cassandra that we share on there, but to different people in her life. And we do have a coupon code that you can use to get 25% off your first month, and that is good for the next week. So grab that and come on over and join us. So for last month, we read Arctic Fury, which is amazing. I'm wrapping that up quickly, and I have not announced on Patreon yet, and I am going to see if I can stop this from scrolling while we're talking. So there we go. So we had the book club. I have not announced on Patreon yet, but Greer McAllister, the author of that book, is going to be joining us on January 18th for a bit of conversation. She's going to talk to us about the research that went into the book, how she got the idea for writing it, and about her writing life in general, which is, I find really fascinating when we've had an author come and join us every month and how different their writing life is. I find that a really fascinating part to see. Some of them, are writing full time. We've had some where they are working full-time job and then writing their books on the side, and it's just really a neat experience to get to connect with them in a very intimate, relaxed setting, find out about the book that we read, a little bit more about it and what inspired it. So if that is your thing, come on over and join us for that. For January's book club, we are going to be reading First Impressions. We'll see if this will show up. It will be a little backwards. And I did want to let everybody know there are multiple covers of this, which sometimes gets me. So just to let you know, this is a little bit older version, I believe, of the cover. So if you're searching for it, you might see a different version depending on if you get it from the library or if you're looking to purchase it or you're getting it used. But I am really excited. I have not read this one before. Mindy, Marigold, have either of you read it?
I haven't read it yet, but I did get the ebook. So that will be something I'm reading through my electronic reader.
There you go. Yes, we love having people join in the book club that are reading in different varieties. Audiobooks. I know, Mindy, I think you grabbed audiobooks, haven't you, on previous ones?
I love doing the audiobooks, but actually I read Arctic Fury through ebook too. So I'm all over with the experimentation.
And I know, Marigold, you have, is it the Libby app that you use quite a bit for your audiobooks?
Actually started the book today listening to it.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I love that. So we all are going to get going on that one. And I think it's going to be a good book to have a conversation about just off of. So if I open the cover jack here, it says, could Jane Austen have stolen the plot of Pride and Prejudice? And we're going to have a kind of a spin on a relationship that she has with I believe it's look through here. Yes, an elderly clergyman that is kind of in the neighborhood who also, I believe, is writing. They strike up some sort of friendship. Do not know what to expect out of this book other than I've seen it has a lot of reviews and a lot of people seem to really enjoy it. And when Marigold and I were doing some research of the books that we were going to be talking about for this year, and it was a lot of fun just kind of seeing what was out there and unique takes. And so I thought first impressions seemed like a good first place to start off the year. So that is our book for January to anyone that wants to use the coupon code and come over and join us there. So we've got that business out of the way. Let's jump to fan fiction. Do you read it? Do you have thoughts on it? Jane Austen fan fiction in particular. And I am curious because we haven't really discussed this one ahead of time to see what everyone's take on it is. So Marigold, let's start with you. Have you previously read any Jane Austen fan fiction?
I'm not a huge fan fiction reader. I do have a lot of, like, as we most noticed on the list of movies. I have like ones that are like shows or like computer shows that I've watched, and I don't mind them that way. But I'm more of a historical, like the historical nonfiction. So anything that's about her, I'm more apt to. But after talking with you guys, I am more interested, and I did put some on my.
I love it. And Mindy, how about you? Any fan fiction in your past?
Well, I love the way Marigold said that, because after one of our previous conversations where we were talking about the Jane Austen fan fiction club on Facebook, I went right on and joined so I could have a better understanding. And I'm currently in the middle of The Other Bennet Sister by Janice Hadlow. I mean, I consider that fan fiction, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's about Mary Bennet, for those who don't know or haven't read it. And I can't remember which one of you told me, but I think there is going to be an adaptation by the BBC, right?
Yes. As far as I know, I don't know any of the details about that one yet. But I have heard rumors. I believe they're actual now at this point, not just rumors, that should be coming soon.
It's and have you both read it?
I have
The
not.
Other Bennet Sister? No?
I have. It's been a while. I had an arc of that one, so it's been at least a few years, I think, since it came out. But I do remember it was like one of my favorite books of the year when I read it.
Okay. I'm eager to. I'm about 60% of the way through, so I'm really eager to see what happens as it winds toward the end. I was a little surprised that it was split into parts. And the first part, which was it was like 280 pages. It's quite a large book, but the first part was basically a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. So, except for Mary's viewpoint. So that was a surprise to me. And I thought the author did it rather well. And it's kind of fun to jump back into a work that we all love and see it from a different perspective. So that was fun. I'm excited to read First Impressions, because that'll be my first one where Jane is a character. But I actually brought over my copy of what I consider my favorite, technically fan fiction. I know it's backwards, but this was the Sanditon, where Kate Riordan took what Jane Austen had and then fleshed it out. And then, of course, it became the first season of the TV show.
Right.
So I consider this fan fiction because, right?
Yeah, it's a completion. I would consider that one. And just so we know, because we've all been showing things to the camera, it's showing up here so we can see it properly. So it's not backwards, apparently. Oh. Anyone can let us know in the comments. It doesn't show up for you in the proper way, because for us, it does not when we're looking into our own cameras.
Yeah, it looks backwards. So if it's backwards, I apologize. But I love this. I loved especially the first season of the television show. And frankly, I don't know, so I probably should look it up. But I don't know if the TV script or this version came first. I'm not sure, because this is word perfect. Like, it's word for word what happens in a television program. So if you liked season 1, I highly recommend this piece of Jane Austen fan fiction.
I love that. And I did not know about that one, so I will have to check it out. I've read a lot of Jane Austen fan fiction over the years, so I feel like I have an opinion. And this is just solely what I enjoy, but I really love either when we get to see, a lot of them are Pride and Prejudice base. So if we get to see Elizabeth and Darcy thrown into a completely new situation, I really enjoy that spin, because then the author really just kind of lets their imagination take over. And I love the characters, so I love to see kind of a reimagining with them is a lot of fun. Because I feel like when it's really close to the same story, it can feel a bit like just trying to recreate what Jane already wrote. So I want it, the wilder the better. Like, give me some crazy new situation to see them in. Is a lot of fun. And I really love seeing other Austen novels too adapted is really interesting. Or like you were saying, when we get a different secondary character's point of view. So to see Mary's perspective is really interesting. I know there's even been some spins on Pride and Prejudice where you really get Darcy's perspective throughout the whole story. So you don't realize how much of Pride and Prejudice we don't see his side. And it really fills in like a lot of the gaps and gives the author a lot of creative license from that side of things as well. I know it's not for everyone, but I do think it's a lot of fun to explore fan fiction if people are interested in it and really enjoy the characters in a fun, new way and see where other Jane Austen fans' creativity takes them with giving us those characters. And yeah, I think it's a, like Marigold, you said, the movie adaptations. I think a lot of people enjoy that too, and seeing where that takes us. And oftentimes, the written fan fiction, I think, can sometimes have people have very strong opinions on it. Where we don't is often about the movies and the creative license they take. So to each their own, go into it with an open mind, and if you enjoy it, check it out, because I think it can be a lot of fun. And even the completely reimagining, like first impressions that we're going to do, is going to be exciting to see where we end up when we read that and the conversations that it sparks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you guys want to give us a quick, well, the time flew tonight. I can't believe we're almost at the end, but I think it would be fun to see, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what are you looking forward to reading this month? Are there any books that you want to get to, that you've had on your list for a while that you hope to read, or what you're currently reading right now? And then we'll close out for the night. Go ahead. Either one of you that wants to go first. You have no order.
I have ones that I'm going right now are the Persuasion for my book club, and then the First Impressions. And I usually have about 3 different going on, but I haven't picked my own choice yet. So I'm a little behind for the month.
Now, I need you to tell me when you have 3 books going on, because I always admire people that are reading more than one at a time. My brain cannot do that. So do you kind of decide how you feel for the day and pick your book based on the mood? Like, how do you divide your time between the books?
It's funny because it all depends on what I'm doing. So
Okay.
while I work, if I'm doing like a design or Photoshop or something like that, I'm just mindlessly like creating. I'm not having to worry about words. So I can listen to a book that I need to pay attention to because I can design and do it at the same time. If I'm doing something that I need to type, or I can't listen to a book because I need to try not typing when I'm listening to, because it has happened before. So it all depends on what I'm doing. If I'm home, I'll curl up to whatever the book, or my Kindle now, because since you talked me into getting it, and I love that it like reads to you at the same time. So it has that both aspect that I enjoy. But
Yes.
it all depends on what I'm doing. And that's how I can have the 3 going, because sometimes if I'm like Persuasion, I've read a shamelessly amount of times because I started in
No
college.
shame here.
I've read it so many times. It is my favorite one. So I just like breeze through, but I'm really trying to like slow down and like take it apart, because during my discussions with my book club, I like seeing, as you mentioned before, what other people's opinions on books that I've already read, or what they've gotten out of them. So I'm trying to read it a little differently, and not like my favorite, I love it, everything's perfect. So I'm kind of dissecting it more. So this one I have to be more attentive to. So I'll be doing that like on my day I'm not working. go through it all.
I love that. I just read a newsletter from another bookish person that I follow, and she did a recap of the year, and I think it was the 20 most beautiful sentences that she read for the year. So as she was like annotating, she had a little notebook that she was keeping, and then she shared those with us. It was amazing because it really, like, from that one sentence, captured kind of the sentiment of the book they were from. And I was like, if you want to convince someone to read a book, like, that's what somebody needs to be doing, is pulling the most beautiful sentence from a book. And I'm afraid as you're going through Austen novels, though, we'll just all be like highlighting basically the whole book.
I probably would, because literally, he's so clever that it's like, I think, oh,
Yeah.
this is the best line. Oh no, this is the best line. But I mean, I have a little book that I have like famous quotes, but those would be great for like Goodreads or something. You just put the one line. People should start doing that.
Yeah. I love the idea that you're slowing down, though, and kind of like reading through and really soaking it in. That's fun. And kudos to you for having tabs in your brain to handle multiple books at a time.
I don't know how I do it sometimes.
We'll keep going. Mindy, how about you? Anything you're excited to start reading this year?
Well, as soon as I finish The Other Sister, or The Other Bennett Sister, excuse me, I am going to jump into Lady Susan, as we discussed. And for one of my Jasna book clubs, we're doing a slow read of Emma. So that should be fun because I haven't read Emma in a little while. But for my and we have first impressions to read for our JAL community. So I've got a couple things there. But for my family, I think I've mentioned on here before that I like to read with my son. And he and I right now are going through John Green's An Abundance of Catherines, which is fun. It's just a fun, kind of lighthearted read.
I love that. Oh, so many good books to get to for the month. Yes, I need to read First Impressions as well. Marigold, you're going to be ahead of us all and telling us, hurry, catch up so I can talk about it. So
I thought I was like, I'm glad I'm not.
I need to make that a priority. And then I have to say, I just had a lot of fun. I finished a brand new release. It came out today, Wednesday. Yes, it came out yesterday. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Mary Bellog. She's been writing historical romance since the 80s, I believe. She lives in, she's from Wales. She lives in Nova Scotia, and she just writes some of the most beautiful historical romance books. Very kind of slow paced, and her characters are unique. And the book that she just released was about two characters who were in their 50s and had been sort of neighbor friends in their teens, and kind of the burdens of society in the Regency era, and they both went their separate ways, and then them kind of reconnecting. And it was really fun to read a romance of characters in their 50s, which I feel like it's rapidly approaching, so it doesn't seem that old anymore to read about someone that's 50. That was really fun. I was excited to start the year off with that. I've had a couple other ones that I've already got in, so it's been a good but busy beginning of the year to read. And I did have one other one that I'm going to be kind of flipping through soon, because I'm hoping spring. We've been getting a ton of snow this week, but I'm going to will spring to get here sooner rather than later, even though it's January. But I was sent this gorgeous Jane Austen's Garden that will be coming out later this year. So I'm going to kind of dig through this and then hopefully be able to share it with the community. And I have a guest in mind that has done some amazing workshops I've been to before about creating your own Jane Austen planter garden or whatever sort of space you have. And I think that will be a lot of fun as well. So I don't know why, but I'm sitting here looking at snow and thinking spring and flowers inside. So I think it sounds like we have all already had kind of a good start to the reading year and have a lot ahead of us for the rest of 2025 to be reading together.
Melissa, I know we've got to go, but last time on our live stream, you showed 2 books and I helped you try to pick which one. Did you read either of those yet?
Oh, I have to go, but I read so many. I don't always track. I have to go back and I'll watch that, and then I'll let you know which one of the 2 that I picked.
Okay.
I do remember this is like I guess it's not horrible, it's real life. I started the one about the social media manager in Ohio that you thought I was going to pick, and I ended up DNFing it after about 5 chapters. It just didn't resonate with me, which is totally fine. It happens, and someone else will find it at the library and love it. But it wasn't for me. But I appreciate you helping me pick. And I ended up, we can discuss this another day, but I did not track for 2024 what I read because I tend to start competing with myself, and then I see the numbers and I feel like I should be reaching a certain number, even though I read every single day. I read a ton of books, but my own worst enemy for trying to compete with myself reading. So that could be a great topic for us to talk about one of these days is, do we track our reading? How do we do it? And what goes into making sure that you get reading moments every single day, because it is great for your mental health. So on that note, we will leave you all for this week. Join us on Wednesdays at 7:30. I think for now that we're into the new year, we should be here every week to be chatting about different Austen topics. If you have any ideas of things that you would like us to discuss, also feel free to leave that in the comments as well. It'll be fun to see as the year goes on. We have so much Jane Austen coming in 2025. There's going to be no shortage of things to talk about. So thank you, ladies, so much for taking time as well out of your evening to come and chat with me about all of the Jane Austen stuff for the night. And I wish everybody well and a good evening or morning or whatever time of day it is for you when you're watching this.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a great